Hi there, I'm Maggie and welcome to this week's edition of Maggie's Mindful Moments. Have you ever really felt stuck? And I wouldn't be surprised if most of you listening right now would say, yep, right now especially, right? In the middle of a pandemic with so much uncertainty and election coming and all of that. Of course, you're feeling a little uneasy. A lot of us don't like uncertainty. We kind of want to have a plan of action. But pandemic aside, election aside, a lot of us, and I've been with hundreds of people over the years, it seems like we have a universal feeling of being stuck and not always knowing how to get unstuck. And being stuck comes from us allowing some of the events or experiences that have happened to us to leave their imprint or leave their impression, almost like a fingerprint that we can't see, on our consciousness. And unless we notice that those things have been imprinted on our consciousness, we'll stay stuck. And you can get stuck in two different ways, right? You can get stuck on the positive, like I'll never forget the day that they told me I was pregnant with my first child. Never. Right? Or you could get stuck on some of the negative. Like for me, I remember growing up, my stepdad used to always tell me to get lost. Every time I entered a room, get lost. So from that, I took in to believe that they didn't want me around and that I wasn't important and I didn't matter and I should just get lost. So I think from inside of those impressions and imprints, I decided from a very young age that I would make myself scarce, that I would not cause trouble, I would not be a reason anybody paid any attention, and I would stay on the sidelines. And it wasn't until I started to meditate that I started to feel those imprints and those memories and the emotions that went along with it start to surface. And in reality, that's what meditation is really all about, is to allow you to be settled and sitting with yourself so that you can allow for those things to come up and get uncovered and discarded, right? To allow us to look at which parts of these imprints or conversations are actually true, and which part of these did I just sort of believe hook, line, and sinker and sort of wear like a heavy coat in the winter, right? So in meditation, it's not about not thinking. It's about noticing when your mind strays into thought. And the practice, if you continue it over time, is so that when you are in meditation or you're in a particular situation in your life and you get triggered by something, and the first place you want to go is to react with anger or violence or walking away or what have you, that instead you're able to notice that that's an automatic behavior that you used to have or do have still that needs a little attention and a little bit of work, so that you start to begin to understand that you are not those impressions. You are not the emotions that are sitting around those impressions. You are not your thoughts. You're just the one thinking the thoughts. And the moment we can recognize that, that's the moment, the very moment where we have a choice to react differently from a different place, perhaps for the first time in our lives. So this is really, really like the crux of why we would want to meditate and become lifetime meditators. And I'm more than happy to support you in your practice. Join me for a complimentary teaching on how to teach you how to meditate, and let me support you in making it a lifetime habit. And in the meantime, have a beautiful day.